Good afternoon. How are you today? I hope you've been very well. I say good afternoon heavily because it's so late in the day that the sun that has been hidden by clouds all day is going to set behind those clouds. It's going to get real dark in here in about an hour. So I'm going to do my best. Today's video has maybe an 87% chance of failure. So if you're seeing this video, it means that it hasn't failed and everything's great. If you're interested in knowing what products I'm using, I'm listing everything down below. Some of these products, like one of my eyeshadows for today, I have no idea what it's called. There's no name for it. So look down below for all those details. But yeah, a little about how we got to today's video. I had no idea what to do for today. I was busy yesterday, so I couldn't sit down and, design my video. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I wasn't inspired by anything. And this morning, I did my daily routine. I did my stuff. Midday happened, then it was 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and I still had nothing. And then I remembered a couple videos ago, I don't know exactly which one now, but I said it a couple videos ago, that on the days where I'm not so inspired, I was going to do makeup that was inspired by a color theme that I just generated online. So I did that. I generated a color pattern. I'll put it up on the screen right now. This is the color palette that I'm going to be attempting to do makeup with today. As I was taking a screenshot for it, I realized that I probably should have done it live. I should have recorded my screen and done it on camera. But I have had a couple hours to think about it, and I've decided to do a cut crease halo eye, which, if you have watched any of my videos, you would know that I avoid cut creases. Halo eyes I can get away with, cut creases are difficult. And if you have a hooded eye or a semi-hooded eye, you know exactly why. I turned the heater on before I started filming and it's really hot in here. And if I open a window, you're gonna hear all the trucks. So anyway, I've effectively chosen more of a difficult look today, more of an advanced look today. I'm still gonna try and explain what I'm doing and maybe make it simpler to understand if you are beginning or want to learn how to do this for hooded eyes. But I guess this is what happens when you don't plan ahead. So as much as I'm gonna want to be helpful and informative and constructive today, I'm hoping for the best, just as you probably are. And again, if you're seeing this video, we've reached success. So I think with neutral colors, cut creases are easier to deal with, especially if you know that it's gonna look wild on your eye shape. Because one mistake with a neutral look and it's not that big a deal. But we're going in today with 3 different mauves and a mint color and a beige color, which I might use, we'll see, but I'm thinking of using that beige color as a highlight shimmer on top of my mint. I say thinking of, like I'm not completely winging this look. If you're still watching, then you have faith in me. Thank you. Appreciate it. If you are someone who's learning how to do makeup and you're following along with this tutorial, you might want to do your eyes first. I'm not going to do them first because I don't actually enjoy doing them first, but if your products are known for giving fallout, maybe do your eyes first. I'm not gonna, and then I'll deal with the consequences if something happens. Because I know most of the colors I'm using today are going to be good with that, like no fallout, but there are 2. I've also run out of some essential skincare products, so if my skin starts looking greasy before I'm even finished this look, it's because I'm out of niacinamide. This is the part of the look where I don't really know what to talk about because people have their own way of doing foundation and the products that I'm using. This isn't a review, so you know the products that I'm using, and if you don't, they're listed down below. Get out of my face. And I haven't changed the way that I'm doing my contouring and blushing and everything, so there's nothing much that I can say other than bronze cheekbones, and it also looks a lot wilder in my monitor than it does in my mirror. Because my monitor is picking up. Actually, no, it's pretty subtle. Good for me. Just separating my jawline from the rest of my neck and doing a quick nose contour. This part, I mention it in a lot of my videos. I now have a very straight, small nose. So contouring for me is just to bring my look together so it looks very cohesive. It's not to necessarily change the shape of my nose. In time, I will do a contouring your nose video for different nose shapes, if that's something that you're interested in. If not, I don't have to come up with the way to do it because no one's interested. But I know that before I had my nose job, oh my god, contouring my nose was so difficult. My blush, I add on the midpoints of my cheekbones, so not on the apples of my cheeks. Usually highlight goes up here, but I'm not one for wearing highlight right now, so that's where my blush is going, and I'm blending it into my bronzer. Up into my temples a little bit. I find that for my face shape, this is the best way to do it. Because if I put it on the balls of my cheeks, like if you have a round face or a heart-shaped face, it drags my face down quite a lot. And when I'm not smiling, these lines, frown lines, they are very accented, whereas this way they're not so much accented. See, I don't have a problem with thin brows. If they were thin, I'd deal with them both being thin. But from the fact that one of them's thicker and one of them's thinner, and I have to thicken the thin one out and it looks very chaotic, yeah, that'll have to do. There's not much more I can do. Alright, I'm gonna use 2 different palettes and 2 loose colors today. Because I don't have all the loose colors, and I don't have... If I had, you know how NYX and ColourPop and MAC, I guess if you put it together, you can have bright colors all at once. I think Melt Cosmetics used to have a limited edition one with like one of every color. I don't have one of those. So I'm going to be using the Morphe palette, 2 colors from the Morphe palette, 1 color from the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This color, which is like a mint from Ben Nye, and this mint has a bit of sheen to it, and I have this from Inglot. That beige, I'm going to probably use Ounce for this palette. And then Ashes will be that deep color on the bottom. And I think from the Morphe palette, I'm gonna use Show Some Skin. And what was the other one called? Love Story. I'm taking a dense buffing brush or a dense blending brush, whatever it's called. And I'm gonna go in with Show Some Skin, which is this color here, because it's the closest to nude that I have in this combination, and I'm going to use it as my transition. God, if this color is the closest color to nude, to make the effect of a halo eye, you concentrate the majority of this color in the outer dip and the inner dip of the eye. But because this is a cut crease and we're going to be going in with concealer later, it does not matter how neat it is. Because I have a semi-hooded eye, and this is specifically for people with hooded and semi-hooded eyes, I am taking this all the way up to the eyebrow. After the majority of concentration, I'm going to keep it dark in that halo shape and also bring it out a little past my eyebrow. Since it is a transition, it doesn't matter if it's faded a bit. It doesn't matter if the brush has lost some product before you transition it out, but it does create that nice shape, you know? I tapped into the product a little bit more, and I'm going to take it underneath the outer portion. Okay, I'm going to explain something in a second. Take it underneath the outer part of the under eye and bring it out, extending it into what we just did, the shape that we just did. So what I was going to say, normally with a cut crease halo eye, I don't know if you've seen enough of them to know that they don't usually put the center color on the bottom eyelid as well, on the bottom like eye bag section as well. I will, because with hooded eyes and semi-hooded eyes, we don't have that much real estate. Just above my crease, you'll only see a little bit of the color that is going to be centered. So in order to make sure that that color is seen, that something else is going on, you don't lose all of that work, I am going to add some of it underneath in the middle here. So it pops a little more. Because we don't have that much room, we have too much skin. So just on the outer section here, and we're going to do it on the inner section as well, just on the inner section. Be careful with this one, especially if you're using a fluffier brush. Don't get anything in your eye, it's gonna suck. If you do spill a bit into the middle, it's fine. We're gonna be applying concealer later. And don't be afraid, just like with every other look when I tell you, don't be afraid to buff it out a lot, to bring it down more, to expand on that color. The more you expand on it, the more you see it. Okay, I've decided to take a dense pencil brush in with that same color and really go into that inner and outer corner because I wasn't getting anywhere with the fluffy brush. We are going to deepen these up later, but in order to get that color in there, it needs to be applied before it's blended, so I'm just applying it finer. Alright, right about now you should look very sickly and very infected. The next color I'm going to go in with is Love Story. I'm going to use my pencil brush again, just because I want to see how it distributes the kind of color that it is and how I'm going to blend it out. Okay, so it's a lot warmer. I'm going to apply it, not exactly on the outer crease, because on that outer crease we've got the previous color. I'm going to apply it between the outer crease and the middle of the eye, and a bit above. Again, bringing it above the nook of the eye where the eyeball sits, because or else we won't see it. And then taking my blending brush and buffing that out. Some colors, especially the really pigmented ones, you need to be careful. If you apply, this is what happened if you remember the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. That was a very pigmented palette. I never had it, but you can tell from the fact that so many people hated it that they were doing it wrong. Subculture palette. That palette, a lot of people struggle to use because it was high pigment and very difficult to blend out. When you have eyeshadows that are pure pigment, they are very difficult to blend out because it's less medium, more color. So with some colors, just like the one that I just put now, if I had applied that straight away, it would have been very hard to blend out. So that's why usually with stuff like this, we go in layers. So that should add some warmth back in. And with this, I'm maintaining a circular shape. So if your eye is circle and you've just brought out that undertone, now you're accenting that circle shape. So when I look up, it's literally a halo around the empty space that we've left. So I've essentially drawn that circular shape roughly with the dense pencil brush, and now I'm blending everything out as seamlessly as I can. The colors are going to blend into each other, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But just remember to keep this one close to the eye. We are still reaching the eyebrow. We're not leaving any room for that sad look that hooded eyes give us. We're painting over it because we don't have time for sadness. We are all work, no play. Same color again, same deal as before, concentrating it on the outer portions of that eye. You can bring it in a little bit more, but the more you bring it in, the less space you have to play with the other colors. If you're having trouble with how far down to bring the lower eyeshadows, squint your eye a little bit and you'll see a line of where your eye bag forms, basically there, and not worrying about if you take it a bit lower. I'm taking my pencil brush again, and the color Ashes, we're gonna bring this color up as well to the top. When I do my normal halo eyes and I don't actually do a cut crease, I just have it on the outside and the inside. But because we're cutting this crease out, we have to bring it up that entire circle and blend it out. And I'm going to put a disclaimer here. If it doesn't turn out just like how you see other makeup artists do it, because your eye shape is a lot more like mine, unfortunately the reality is we struggle with this look. Whoops, what did I just do? Yeah, we struggle with this look. Our eye shape doesn't really give us much to work with, so as an alternative, I've been doing halo eyes how I've been doing them, and they are softer, and it looks like I put less work into them, but it's just a different way of doing that eye because it works better for me, and it might work better for you. I do have other halo eyes specifically for hooded eyes on my channel, so if that interests you, I have them in my makeup tutorials playlist. Just like with the previous color, I am concentrating the majority of it in the innermost and outermost V's of the eye, but I am lining, if you can see it, I am lining that circle. For eye shapes like ours, this particular effect reminds me of Nightmare Before Christmas or Corpse Bride because it makes the eyes look very sunken in and we have too much skin for them to look sunken in. But I'm going in with my third layer here really to darken this up because I don't want to use black in this look and I don't want to use brown to make it darker, so I really have to pack on this layer with Ashes. And while it doesn't matter if you get messy because we are going to go in with concealer and cut out that crease, we still want to have that darkness to contrast, so just make sure that you have darkness up there. This is my brow bone here and I am still lining it. My eye starts in here, but I have to bring it out in order for it to be seen. So keep that in mind as well. And for the under eye, I'm starting it in that outer corner and I'm just flicking it out. It's up to you if you want to take that darkness across the whole eye, but I want this look to open my eye. So I am going to put it underneath as well, the concealer and the mint color. Go in as many times as you need to make the inner and outer corners as dark as you need them to be. So if I've gone in with 3 layers, but you feel like it's not dark enough, go in with 4, go in with 5. That's up to you. Just make sure that you bring it above the crease. Do you see where the crease is? Make sure you're bringing it up and around. If you find that your dense pencil brush is too much for the inner part of your eye, use a angled brush. Damn, I forgot what this was called. And make sure that you get really in on that inside to bring the darkness as much as you can. Because I just jabbed myself in my left eye 3 times. And the good thing with angled brushes is they are not blenders, they are applicators, so their job is to apply more product on anyway. So if your goal is to get it as dark as I'm trying to get it, applicator brushes are your best friend. And because of that reason, I think I'm just going to do it on the outside as well, on the outer corner. I might do it upper and lower as well, because there's only so much that a pencil brush can do, but this can get really close to the lash line. If you have more eye space, more real estate, you would use your concealer on your entire eyelid. But because we are taking our concealer up here, we're taking our concealer, this is the crease here, we're taking it up here. And if we take it up here and bring it out the whole way, I think we've not only ruined the shape, we've taken out so much of that blending that we've just done. We need to work with our eye shape now. So if you've got a hooded eye or a semi-hooded eye, this is already difficult enough. Bringing it out, it might be a fun look if your goal is to bring the entire crease. If you take the entire crease out from up here, like a wave, and outward, that's when I think it looks best to bring it out. But because we're dealing with darkness and a whole lot of blending, I think I'm gonna end it. Where's my concealer? I just wanna map it out for you so that you can see what I mean without me just talking into nothing. And with these looks, by the way, layer it. So I've wiped off some product here off of my angled brush, and I am using my angled brush to map it out because any other brush is too bulky that I have, or too unpredictable. So up here is the high point of the cut crease, and I'm thinking of bringing it down to here and on the inside, so it's going to be wider up the top and narrow down the center, like down when you hit the eyelid, because we're trying to open the eye. We're trying to show as much work as possible because we do a lot of work with every look that we do. We blend a lot to get it to be as seamless as we can. And then our eye shape betrays us. And then we think, why? What's the point? What's the point of doing makeup when you can't see it? So this way, you'll be able to see the darkness that you did, but you will just bypass the hood so that you can see the mint. Let me try and get this as even as possible. I've seen a lot of artists take a brush like this, load it with concealer, and it's enough for them to just create that whiteness. We don't have that luxury. So we're gonna work small. So when you've finished mapping it out, how I map it out is I tap it where I want the outermost point and I bring it in. And I do this very rough, but enough to keep it as neat as I possibly can. And then with the concealer brush that we use to apply regular concealer, apply a little bit onto the tip, touch that top bit that you've already outlined, bring it down. With whatever's left, touch the other edges, go in a circle and bring it back into the center. Do not start at the center and work your way out. You will ruin your life. And then once you've run out of that product because it's been applied to your eyelid, then add a little bit more and work on your other side. Okay, now that that initial shape is down, take a smaller flat brush. Do I have one? A smaller flat brush. Again, just the tip with concealer, and make that circle as seamless as you can on the edges. If I'm not talking during this part, it's because I'm at my high point of concentration. So just wait. Oh, one more thing. You can close your eye, raise your eyebrow, and get a very clean cut, or you can look straight ahead and kind of down at the mirror so you can map out exactly where your crease is going to be. Because if I'm up like this and then I lower my eyebrow, it's mostly gone. I think that's as clean cut as I'm going to get it for now. Let me do the other one in complete silence. Alright, so I had to expand this eye because this eye was just bigger. And I'm tapping on the inner and outer sides just to soften out that edge, just on the sides that need it, or else it's going to look like it doesn't match. So now we are at war with that extra hooded skin. But do you see what I mean? How you can get it to look as perfect as you can get it to look. Then you open your eyes and it's like womp womp. The interesting thing is that this color combination has this pale beige cream color and then the mint. So I'm gonna do a couple things. I'm gonna take the Ben Nye version of that mint color I have, the small brush we were using with concealer. I'm going to use that to cover everything. I'm actually going to use a different brush. I'm using a clean flat brush, loading it up, and yeah, tapping it on. Oh, that's better. Because what was happening is the concealer on the brush we were using just now was mixing in with this color and it was not giving me pigment. And basically here, just tap everything on that inside. Tap that entire concealed part. Make sure that you get it on those outer curves as well. Well, outer curves, they're the inner part of the concealed portion, but they are the outermost part of that. I don't like something. I'm going to take my angled brush, my darker angled brush, go back into Ashes from the Urban Decay palette, and just outline here on the top of this cut because I don't like how it's not as contrasted as this eye. This eye, you can tell there's a cut. This eye just kind of looks less so. And blend that out with my dense pencil brush. Yeah, that's a little bit better. With my finger, I'm going to take the INGLOT version of the same color. It's just a shimmer, and I'm going to just pat that on the center. Actually, I'm going to pat that all over that mint part. Trying not to break that cut. Sorry for flipping you off. And on that bottom part of my eye, I'm going to take my angle brush with the concealer on it, like the concealer brush that we were using before. Tapping into a little concealer and concealing the center of the under eye. This one you can do a little more haphazardly because it is underneath the lashes, and if you're going to wear mascara, which I strongly advise you do, it's not going to be that noticeable if you make a little line where you're not supposed to. We're just brightening this. Oh, my eyeball. We're just brightening this up so we can apply the mint. And if you're like me and you've brought down the pinks and the purples below your eye bag area, you are going to see them underneath the concealer part that we're doing now. This is good. Same applicator brush from before and that Ben Nye Mint. Looking up now. This is the part where you're going to get the most fallout if you get fallout. Looking up, have your mirror above your head and apply the color there. Looks kind of freaky, but this is the reason I love this look. So it looks like this on my eye. When I continue that circle underneath it, it looks freaky and I really love it. I'm going to use the same brush to tap into the glitter part of it because if I do it with my finger, I'm going to poke myself in the eye. So I'm loading it up on either side and with the exact same trick as before, looking up into the mirror and pushing it up against the lashes. And because this is a shimmer, be very careful not to jab your eye. It will suck for you. It will suck for you for so long. Your eyes will start watering. You're not going to want to go anywhere. It's a total nightmare. That top color, F9E009, if I had an eyeliner that was nude or like close to my skin tone, I would use that on the inner parts of my eye. I'm going to line it with a black liner and I'm going to use black mascara. I'm not doing lashes. I don't like doing lashes with halo eyes because it just destroys the whole look that you do. Because it hides everything, especially if you have a hooded eye. Doing lashes is going to hide all the work that you did. So I'm not going to do lashes today. I am going to do eyeliner and mascara with my almost finished black Better Than Sex mascara. So normally I don't like doing eyeliner with looks like this either, but I'm going to try and avoid the center. I think that's the best that I can do with that. I think I'm running out of liner as well. I'm not going to go in my waterline and line that part for two reasons. One, because I said I wasn't gonna, and we're trying to keep that as nude as possible on the inside. And two, I think it ruins the whole illusion of the look. I think when you close the eye further, it ruins the fact that you've just put so much color in the center of your eye. So unless you have an inner waterline liner in the color of your actual halo, it's gonna ruin the ultimate look. Whatever's left of my Better Than Sex mascara, my black Better Than Sex mascara, God, I need to get a new one of these. I'm just mascara-ing my eyelashes. And you're not gonna be able to see them. I don't even have like a sample mascara, I don't think. I think this is it. Remember the olden days? And when I say olden days, I mean like, I don't know, 2008 to 2012. If we didn't have mascara, we'd use our gel liner and we'd put the mascara wand in it and use that. And vice versa, if we didn't have any eyeliner, we'd put our eyeliner brush in the tube of mascara and destroy our eyes with that. Anyone else remember that, or am I just older than everyone here? It looks like the lipstick I wanted to use isn't here. I wore it yesterday when I went out and I think I left it at the place that I was at. It's really unfortunate because that was going to be my pale nude color that I couldn't get away with doing on the eyes. And I can't find it. So this is Blankety. I'm so upset. That would have been the perfect pink. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to apply this lipstick as it's supposed to be applied because I'm trying to avoid the pinkness of it. So I'm going to tap it with no lip liner onto the actual lips. Just so there's some color on there, because if I can't do the pale nude lip, I'm going to do a nude lip and then add pale on top of that. So I'm just blotting it and pursing my lips together just to distribute that color evenly. And I'm taking Ounce from that Naked Heat palette just with my finger and changing my finger every time I do this because the color is gonna transfer. And while you're at it, highlighting the Cupid's bow. Now, if you have a full pale pink lipstick or a lip gloss or a lip tint or liquid lip, use that. You're gonna look better. Do I want to take out my hair? I like it when it's all tied up and fluffy in the back. With all that said and done, this is the final look for this week. I cannot tell you how much stress it was not knowing what I was going to film today. Next time I do this, I'm going to... I don't think it goes through the colors. I think it just pops up with one. But if I find one that goes through the colors and then pops up with one, I'll do it on camera so that we're all surprised and it's more spontaneous, as opposed to me thinking about this look all day and coming up with it over the last few hours. I don't actually mind how it turned out, lipstick aside. I don't mind how it turned out. I would never use this color combination. I would never do a look like this, but it is fun. It is fun to do things that you're not normally going to do, because then you learn how to do them. So if you're someone who has a hooded eye just like me and has learned something today about how to shape and frame cut creases for your hooded eyes, let me know. Thank you for tuning in today and getting creative with me. It's always fun when I do creative looks. They take so long for me to film, but ultimately when they turn out okay, I love them. So I'm going to go ahead and say you're going to see this video because I'm proud of what we came up with today. I hope I was able to at least entertain you if I didn't teach you anything you didn't already know, but if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, and if you'd like to see more, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye. Mwah.